Hey everybody, Dave here, and I wanted to send you all a quick video message letting you know that our class I feel is moving along pretty well. We're about halfway through the quarter now, and all of last week's content has been graded. Your grades should be fully up to date. And I do want to encourage you, now that we are about halfway through, to make sure you're checking your grades for accuracy in all of your classes and all of your grades from start to finish. From the beginning of April until the present day, because what you don't want to do is get yourself in a pinch where you aren't fully understanding your current grade and how that's going to impact your grade at the end of the quarter, and just kind of get yourself into a pickle that way. So make sure that you are consistently checking your grades for accuracy and you're understanding where you might be losing some points. I think in our class where people miss the most points is probably lacking the reply post in discussions. But for the most part, I feel really good about where our class is at. There were a number of people who missed the opportunity for the or missed the nutrition assignment for whatever reason. So I guess just looking ahead and seeing what is it going to be due. So when discussions open up on those Sunday mornings, you don't have to do the homework on that Sunday morning, but it would be wise to get in there and just see what the plan is for the class before Wednesday, so that you're not up against the clock on Wednesday night. And I can always tell when, typically speaking, when I look at and see when students are uploading their work, I will say that the quality work is typically done on Monday, Tuesdays, and early Wednesdays. But when I see posts or assignments uploaded, at 11:45 or even closer to midnight, on the due dates, I can usually tell that in reading their posts, that the quality just isn't there. And then I look at the timestamp and I say, well, up against the clock. So in any case, make sure you're allowing yourself ample time to complete the tasks. Moving forward, this week we have wellness and feeling, and there's an activity in the book called the Circle of Joy that I absolutely love, because we're just bombarded by I don't want to say a cynical society, but really what we listen to on the radio, what we see on TV and the news, and Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And I do want to encourage students, and my family members, my social surroundings, anyone who's going to listen, really, to go in the direction of things that bring you joy, things that bring you happiness. And with that being said, in my face-to-face classes, we do this activity that is called What Brings You Joy. And it really is a simple activity, and I want to share it with you because I do this with my family probably about once a year. And I really think that it allows me to remind myself, really, whoopsie daisy, that is my annoying ringer there. It allows me to reminds me of what my kids really love, and that's the simplicity of being a child. And it reminds me of new things about my wife that I've forgotten. So what brings you joy? And the activity is you're going to sit face to face with somebody, or just at the dinner table, kind of very informal like. And typically we want to go for an extended period of time. So for like 3 or 4 straight minutes. In my classes I like to go 4 minutes, but first timers, I think 3 is okay. And you just ask them, and perhaps you could propose it like this. You say, hey, my health instructor asked me to do this activity. It's for credit, and I just want to try this out and see how it goes. And so what I do is, in my face-to-face, we have a piece of paper, and what I do is I take this paper, if I'm the student, and I write down, or what I do is I say, okay, and I'm looking at my peer, and I say, and we're face-to-face, like we're knee to knee, face-to-face, and I say, what brings you joy? And they say reading, and so I write down reading. And I say, what brings you joy? And they say, comic books. And I write down comic books. What brings you joy? Exercise. And I say, write down exercise. I say, what brings you joy? And sleeping. And so I write down sleeping. So what brings you joy? And I keep asking over and over. That's my only question, is what brings you joy? What brings you joy? What brings you joy? And they're telling me response. And the response is always typically a single word. And there's no explanation necessary. Otherwise, we get into discussion and we forget about the assignment entirely. So the idea is we have one person asking what brings you joy, one person responding with a single word answer. The person asking writes down the answers. and then they ask again and again and again for about 3 to 4 minutes. And you keep going, no matter if they're feeling like they're done at 90 seconds. You want to keep going because too often, there's a book written by called Intimate Strangers. It's by Lillian Rubin. She's an author out of San Francisco, and she says that too often we live behind the mask, and we only show a small percentage of ourselves in our day-to-day interactions. And if you recall the iceberg model of health and disease, that also said that we only share about 10% of our world. We only show about 10% of our life to the outside world. So this helps us dig a little bit more. Kind of it pulls that brain or pulls the cranium apart and really looks into that brain and what's going on in there. And I think after 4 minutes of asking what brings you joy, you really do find some interesting things that bring your family members joy or your peers joy that you maybe never knew. And so this is my encouragement to you to give that one a shot. And it's not, you don't have to upload anything. You don't have to turn anything in. This is just simply for your enjoyment. And I hope it works out well for you. Moving forward, tomorrow, gosh, is it tomorrow? No, not racing tomorrow. Let's see, Racing Extinction. What do we have this week? Yeah, next week we have Racing Extinction. Oh my gosh, yes, that's right. Racing Extinction opens up. I do believe it opens up tomorrow. And I just closed up my window, so I got to reopen it. There we go. Racing Extinction opens up tomorrow morning, and I'm opening it up early so that you can figure out a way for your family to watch this movie. It's about a 90-minute movie, and maybe a hair more. But my hope is that you can invite have your kind of a family around a great movie. I do think the way that this movie presents global warming is in a way that is captivating. And it's kind of a fresh take on global warming, if there is such a thing. It's my hope that you can get family members involved into making changes for the greater good. So if you guys have any questions about that, I don't think you will. It's pretty straightforward. That again opens up tomorrow, and I'm excited for the feedback about that and the goals that you're about to set. I've had some amazing goals around Racing Extinction and the Do One Thing project. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, please let me know. We're getting to the time where you might be registering for classes in the future. And on the note of Racing Extinction, we have a really good environmental wellness class. I have no clue what the item number or code is for that class, but I do want to say Garrett does a great job with that class. We also have classes on food, just coming off of grading that nutrition paper. Food in Your Health, I believe it's called, Health 100. And that class has more to do with the behavior change side of nutrition than actual nutrition itself. And it gets into food and mood and quality of macronutrients, micronutrients, and that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's around behavior change because nutrition is the hardest behavior change, and it trumps drug addiction, trumps alcohol, and tobacco. It is the hardest behavior change because we have over 500,000 food options at our disposal in any given grocery market. Maybe not 500,000 in that market, but kind of throughout our nation, over 500,000 food options in our grocery stores, and that's insane. And there's more and more every year, and it really just comes down to the bottom line. Where we put our money is where we're voting. And so if you want healthier options, then we have to purchase healthier options. And if we want environmentally sustainable options, then we have to purchase those options. And if we want no GMOs, if we want organic only, we have to purchase that way. In any case, man, that's a lot. My apologies. We're at 9 minutes, and that's a lot of content there. So I'm going to leave you be. And if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. I'll be out of town tomorrow through Sunday. Have a wonderful Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and single dads too. And if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. Later.